My name is Nnadi Theresa Chinyere. I was working as a volunteer with Lagos State Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Domestic Violence Unit, before this accident happened. That fateful morning, 9th of March, I left my house at about 6 because the bus will come to my bus stop, which is Orioke, to come and pick us up. Not just me, there are other people that bought the bus there with me at Orioke. So once it's 6 o'clock, we ensure we get there before 6, because most times by 6 the bus is there, and if you miss the bus, you have to go to Jakonde Gate to wait for the bus, because the bus leaves Jakonde Gate by 6:30. So most times we often go to Orioke bus stop at Ejibo to wait for the bus before 6 o'clock, so we don't miss the bus. So that fateful day, I went as usual, and that was during the period where we were having cash issue. I bought the bus. I saw my friends, yes, inside the bus. I have not seen one for like a very long time, close to 3 weeks or 1 month, yes. But we communicate, we chat. So that day I saw her, I was so excited. Her name is Ore. She's late now. She was the copper that died during the accident. So I saw her that day. I was so happy, so excited. I refused to sit down. I sat on her laps. The other person there was Nifemi. She too is late now. She was having IT. She was an IT student then. She was close to finishing her IT then, because then she was like, oh, I'll soon leave you people in this bus. This bus that people used to argue a lot. I will soon leave you people. I also go back to school. Of course, we're excited for her. We started with our normal chit chat, trying to catch up, and that was it. That was the last thing I remembered. Next thing I knew is when I woke up, I saw myself in the hospital. That was the next thing that happened. I don't know, till date, I can't remember how the accident happened. But when I got up in the hospital, I was hearing people saying, oh, and they were telling him not to go. Look at the train is coming, this, that. If you ask me, till date, I still can't say how that accident happened. That bus stop, PWD, is a route where most often when we pass through that route, the driver stops, because they have this woman that sells akara there that some of the people in the bus buys from her. So when they get there, they wait. He exercises patience for them to buy what they want to buy, and then we are out. But that particular day, I don't know what happened. I don't know why he did not at least exercise a little patience for the train to pass, and then he moves. So while in the hospital, I was told that I was moved to the theater for an operation, because according to them, according to my doctors, I was told I bled internally and they needed to stop the bleeding. So that was why the surgery had to be performed on me. So after the surgery was performed, I don't know how long I was out. My hands here, there are stitches. Somewhere here, there are stitches, and a chunk of my head was pulled out, and it was stitched. My leg, somewhere here, there is an injury there. They had to stitch it. Those were like the physical injuries I sustained. And when I was up, I saw this being played out. So after the surgery, according to them, because I was told I had to be moved directly into the theater because my case was quite critical. It's something, you having an accident and you are awake, you're screaming for help. But in my case, I went off. Even till now, I saw pictures of when I was sitting like cautiously awake in pictures during the accident, but I can't even remember that moment of me being cautious, like awake. I can't. I just knew that the next thing I saw was, oh, I'm already in the ward after the surgery. I never even knew from the beginning that I had surgery. It was when I woke up, I think a few hours later, I was feeling something in my stomach. That was when I knew that, oh, wow, this is my reality. This is it. Yes, it happened that same day, 9th of March. Because according to them, it was the surgery that revived me back. I will use the word of my doctor, one of them, the female doctor. She said, you were just gradually slipping off our hands. You were just going. It was just God that brought you back. It was just God that said, oh, we should fish you out. We should see you. So there's every tendency that I also would have been gone if nobody noticed me. If nobody noticed that there was something wrong with this girl. And then took me, according to what I was told, Nifemi died instantly, because I later had a conversation with someone also in the accident, like a survivor. She was like, I never knew that the person they were putting with me inside the ambulance was a dead person. Like, she's like, oh, when I looked, it was Nifemi God. She was just gone. Like, she died instantly. And Ore, I don't know if she died instantly or after a few hours or after some days. Her case, I can't really say, because they were trying to hide the whole news from me then. Because obviously people were like concerned about my own health too and my own recovery. So they were trying to hide the whole who has died away from me. It was later on, in fact, somebody in the world even made me realize that Ore was dead. That was close to 2 weeks, a weekend in Lasut, because most of us were taken to various locations. We were not all in the same hospital. Some of us were taken to Lasut, I think some to Solo, some to Island, the general hospital in Ireland. So we're just scattered around. Till date, I don't do strenuous activities because of the surgery. I don't. Somewhere in my stomach here. So I don't do strenuous activities. Till date, I can't lift heavy things. I can't. And I am being given strict warning not to do it. In fact, I've had people tell me, you can't do strenuous, you can't carry heavy things. You know you're a woman, you want to get married, you want to give birth to children, you want to have kids, you have to let that place heal. So, and they'll tell me, you know, it's internal, we can't see it. If it were to be just the surface of your body now, oh, we could tell. It would take a whole lot of time for it to heal. Just calm down. Just be yourself. That's what people will say to me. It wasn't easy at first when you'll be walking on the road and somebody will be telling you sorry. Like, you can't count the sorries you'll be hearing. I heard that a whole lot. At first, I was angry. I was like, oh my God. This story is beginning to be too much. It's beginning to piss me off. But when I went to the hospital, I told my doctor we were having chats. The doctor in charge of our case, the BRT case, I told him and he was like, Theresa, these people are not wrong. But what do you want them to tell you? They have to tell you sorry. Just bear it. That's what you will hear now. Before you know, the whole thing will die off. So, the bills. I was told the Lagos State government said they were going to fit our bills, free medical bills. So I didn't pay. So for anything we had to do then in the hospital, it was free. We had to get exemptions. You know, anything government takes processes. So you have to get something stamped. You take it to get your medicine. Those things have to be stamped, and then they give you for free. There are some papers you take somewhere, they have to state it, or you're actually a BRT accident victim, and people are looking at you in the hospital like, oh my god, oh my god. So that look I get at the very beginning, I was just sad. So our medicines, our x-rays, our tests we had to do, they were free. I did not have to pay for it. While I was still in the hospital, while I was still hospitalized, I had people around. My mom was actually in the hospital like every day, and when she had to sleep over, so I had people around me doing the runarounds for me. And there were also healthcare persons then stationed, assigned, okay, to do our paperwork. If it's when we had to go for x-rays or tests, make sure we get these exemptions, the stamps and signatures on it, take us there. There were ambulances to take us to the places where we need to do our x-rays if we had to do. So we did not do most of these things by ourselves. We had people there positioned to do this for us, and I got strength from them. It has taught me to be more patient, more empathetic to people. Not like I was not empathetic before. I was, but to be more empathetic, to show more love, to be prayerful, more prayerful, to be more closer to God. Because seriously, that day I had a situation like I was leaving my house and I wore my clothes the normal way, but I had to go and ease myself. I went back to the restroom. You know, jumpsuit, if you want to ease yourself, you have to like the whole thing. So I was like, oh God, am I going to take this thing off again? So I just did it and I wore it. Do you know, I never realized I was wearing the back of my jumpsuit until I was on the road. I was like, wow. And it was part of what I was discussing with Ore and Nifemi that we were laughing at that day. So they were like, they're going to tell people to look at me today. I'm putting on back of clothes. So I was like, nobody will understand. It's fashion. They'll think is the normal way of wearing it. So maybe if I had decided to go back home that day and change properly to the normal front clothes, maybe I wouldn't even go with that bus. So it has taught me to be more patient. The healing process, it's not something that it's in a rush. Even the doctor in charge of my case, because I decided to have conversations with them. I'm not a person you tell me this is what is wrong with you and I keep quiet about it. No. I will ask you questions. How are we going to go about it? What are we going to do about it? Oh, I read somewhere. Oh, this is it. Oh, was it this that caused it? Even to date, my doctors know. Sometimes I feel most of them don't want to answer my questions because they feel, oh God, this girl, you ask too much questions. Just take it the way we give to you. But it's my life. It's my health. I need to know the way to handle it now. I need to know. I don't lift heavy things. Before, I'm a Jackie. I don't wait for somebody to help me with things. I will go and do it. That's my life. I will go and do it. I don't volunteer anymore with the ministry because after my accident, I reapplied. I was told to reapply by my boss. I did. But some people in a position of authority feels their position is more valuable than a person's life. I was asked to stop. So my boss told me, my director told me that, oh, she has been told that she should tell me to stop at the moment. So it didn't really hit on me immediately. I sat down that day later on and I was like, so if I had gone, if I had died in the whole of this, this is what I will get. I mean, for someone doing a voluntary job, this is what I would have gotten. The neglect, okay, what I even start to think of it. What would be the plight of my families? What would be what would they fall back on? My siblings, my parents. My mom had to be like monitored seriously, because it was not just the accident I had. There was also an accidental finding. In the course of all this, I was coughing, and I was coughing out blood. I had to call the attention of the doctors. What's happening? I don't get it. Why am I coughing out blood? I don't used to cough out blood. I mean, I don't. After some days, immediately started running. They did, yes, I remember that I went to do AS3. Yes. So they brought the frames. Me, I don't understand. So this is like my frame for my last S3 I did. While I was coughing out blood, I was having pains on my chest. I couldn't breathe properly. The explanation I got was that there are too much fluids in my chest as a result of the accident. I was told a pipe will have to be passed, a tube will have to be passed. To have to be awake to experience them putting a tube inside of you to drain the water was not funny. Yes, they were nice enough to give me anesthesia. I think that injection that makes you not feel pain. But still as at that. Yes, I was talking through the whole process. So that was there with me, they passed it. I was even asleep. It was sometime in the night, maybe like past 11, they came to do that procedure. I remember the next day, I did not want to do anything. Even to stand up and walk around the ward, I did not want to do it because I was in serious and severe pain. And I remember it also affected my sleeping pattern. So I couldn't sleep by the side. I always have to sleep on my back because of the pain. And if I had to walk around the ward, I also need to carry my tube around. I was not even with my phone then to like, okay, let me go through these things. My phone was stolen. My ATM cards that day. My personal belongings. I didn't take anything I took out that day did not come back to me. Did not come back to the house with me till now. So the whole symptoms they were asking if I was exhibiting any symptoms of having tuberculosis then was negative. I wasn't coughing. There was no drastic weight loss. I wasn't sweating seriously in the night. So I was just confused. And they also found out that the damage it has already done to my lungs was much. So that made them to conclude that before now, I had it. I feel because I don't have the memory of the accident, that's why I can even jump on BRT bus. Because some people that remember these things, part of their trauma, they are scared of BRT bus. I don't have any memories, so I think mine is a bit mild. I jump on buses, but I have to be very careful. Sometimes when I'm in the bus and the driver is driving rough, I'm like, driver, please, I take God beg you. I remember a day I was in the keke. I was not like, driver, take God beg you, allow God use you. And the passengers were like, sister, calm down, no be so, no fear. I say, no, I know what they talk. My experience this year was not fun. I told them bluntly there. I said, you see that accident that happened so and so day? I did inside that bus. They were like, they just thought that they were looking at me. I said, yes. I said, that's the reason why I'm telling this young man to calm down. It's one thing having accidents. It's another thing you surviving the accident and healing from it. And your healing process, you don't know how long it's going to take. It will change your whole life. So many of us, there are some people, I know I'm very correct about it. There are some people that they are not as okay as I am. I know a few people, at least those I communicate with very well in the bus. I know a few people. So I have one that till date, she still has problem with her stomach. She can't eat, she can't swallow. Even when she's sneezing, she has to hold her tummy because of the agony, the pain she's going through is not a small one. There was also someone I visited in my area there. She remembers everything. The other day, because when the accident started at Fresh, most of us can't jump on buses. We had to take Uber to the hospital. I wasn't even walking straight. If you see me then, it's just that they stole my phone. So all these moments, it's just a few moments my friends, my relative captured and then they sent to me now. How do I want to jump bus? Or let me speak it in pidgin. How I want to take jump bus? Where is the strength? So the other lady also, she too, I saw scars on her body. She has like, her body was stitched. The other time she complained to me that the back of her leg, she still has pain on that. So that place was stitched. Her hand, one of her hands, she has to be on bandage for like a while. I don't know if she has finished her physiotherapy now because she had to start doing that. And I was told she was operated on that hand. I don't know if it's once or twice. I'm not sure of that information. Recently, I had a conversation with also someone. There was a man I asked about in the bus, and I was told his own situation, that he has not even resumed work, that he still has, I think, swollen arms or so. And accidentally, I bumped into another person at the hospital. He works there. So he was like, you two, you are fine. And he was like, you are fine now. That he showed me his scar. And I was like, man, I didn't show him my own scar because it's my stomach, so I can't just expose it out. But his was here, so it was like, I was like, God help us, because a lot of people, whether we like it or not, whether we refuse to say the truth or not, or close our eyes to it, this accident changed the lives of so many people. For bad, not for good. The funny thing is that in this our society, we don't see the need to follow up. We don't see the need to talk to accident victims. Some of them are traumatized. They have like serious trauma. I remember the lady I said stays around me, I went to visit. She told me that while she was in the hospital, she does not used to sleep in the night. She doesn't used to sleep in the night. Her head would just be, she'll just be remembering things. So they have to give her injection to sleep. And once she starts sleeping, nobody wakes her. It's one thing you just paying their hospital bill, and maybe you make whatsoever promise you make. It's another thing fulfilling it. Are you following up to ensure they get quality health care? What's the statistics of people who are already very good? Like, they are okay. And what's the statistics of people who are still struggling? These are people who also work in the ministry. These are people who work, of course, they work in Alausa. Some of them work in the secretariat. Some of them work in the hospital. But it's the government-owned organization, yes, parastatals that they work in. They should be more responsible for these people. Make them feel love. Some of them, you might just be surprised, it's just talking to them. They need people to talk to them, show them care, show them love. Some of them, finances, because yes, those times you go to the hospitals, it's our money. I was told the day it happened, the governor came. But I mean, I was unconscious, I don't know. My units, the domestic violence units, they did well, they tried. They took turns to visit me in the hospital. Today, it will be this person's turn. The next day, it's another person's turn. So they took turns and they ensured that, when they come, they ask me, what complaints do you have? Those little itches, those complaints I have, they take it up and ensure that those complaints are resolved. And if I didn't have those loved ones that really showed me love, my church, because those people went all out. Some people came to visit me. So it was just like, that was like therapy for me to get better. And it really worked. Healing starts from your head, starts from your mind. Till now, I talk to accident victims. I've decided to I've actually been there. So I feel these people pain. So I told myself, firstly, I'll get better. I will. I have to. If not for anything, for myself, for my loved ones, I have to. So now I've taken it upon myself to start talking to accident victims. There are situations where you visit someone and be like, this person no dey improve. Oh. You don't know what that person is going through. You don't know the inner battles, the inner devils the person is fighting to get better. But it's not just showing, it's not working. Trust me, the love I got from people was something else. It was overwhelming. I will use my life story as a testimony to people. For my case, when I go to the hospital and when some doctors see my files and the rest and they're opening it, they'll just be looking at my file, they'll be looking at me. I remember one doctor said to me, only you, all this thing, and you're still alive like this. God loves you. They had someone in their unit too that died out of that. It was a whole lot happening to the lady. But for me, when she checked the whole thing, she was like, God loves you. And I know God loves me. So I like where he's taking me to.